What's going on? It's the East Coast Digger today. I'm over here at the trailer because I want to do a little electronic work. It's a basic little thing, but one of those like time-saving convenience things. And that is putting a USB extension on my grid ignition module. Now, the grid is my ignition controller. It's right down there. And right here, this piece comes off, and behind that is a SD card and a USB connection. Those are ways you connect it to the computer to adjust settings for like launch RPM control, that kind of thing. Lots, just infinitely crazy amounts of settings you can do with the MSD GRID controller. So what I want to do, so I don't have to pull the panels off the car while I'm in a race, if I need to make an adjustment for convenience and time saving, I'm going to run a USB extension cable from here and mount it to my dash for much easier access for the laptop. I think I've got a open spot here where a button used to be. I may be able to open that up just bigger enough. I'm hoping that I can open that bigger enough to put my USB dash mount in. So that's what we're doing today on Diggers. Okay, so no drilling. That hole was nowhere near big enough for what I needed, and it's in fairly nice shape, and I'm no like master fabricator cutter, so I just didn't want to booger it up. So it took me a while of thinking, but ultimately I opted for a hidden behind the dash kind of measure. So it came with a little mounting bracket. I use some super strong Velcro stuff I've got, so you know, semi-permanent mount for that lightweight little end. It's going to be just fine. But you can see it's under the dash, and again, I don't need to access this a lot. I just don't want to have to pull body panels when I need to get to it, so I can just plug the port under there, cap it off when I don't need it, and ran this wire just along the chassis using some zip ties, and it goes right down there to the grid. Now see that little pigtail piece? You're going to need that if you're doing any kind of USB extension to a laptop for your grid. This particular one that I've got, I opted for the USB. It's a car mount 6-foot cable is what I got, and then you need this guy. This is a USB type B male to a USB type A female. You need that little pigtail adapter to go into the actual grid unit for your standard USB size, and then it's a port there that your cable to your laptop can then go to. So that's ultimately what I've got so far. I'll give you a quick update too on what I did. So I don't think I videoed this for my carburetor issue. So if you look back on some videos, you'll see I was have been dealing with a bog on the starting line, and for all the research I did, really it was, hey, it's going to need more fuel. It wants more fuel. It's taking a big gulp of air, not getting enough fuel. You have to go up on your squirter sizes maybe. Well, the squirters I have in here are 63s. And for all the hunting around I did, I could not find squirters any bigger than 63. I'm pretty sure that's the largest squirter that they make. Now you can drill them out. I didn't want to get into all of that. Knowing that this combo was running, however, with a throttle stop on it at one point, I thought, you know, I don't think I need to be drilling out squirters. I think what I need to do is adjust the linkage a bit for the squirters, because what I noticed was when I would sweep the throttle from closed to all the way open, this front primary squirter would do its shot and then peter out and kind of finish before the secondary squirter would come on. So in the overlap from primary to secondary, even when you're just mashing the gas super fast, there's a brief moment in there where it's not getting a squirt from the accelerator pump of fuel. So I adjusted this here to make sure that I didn't have any slop. You see, I can't really move this at all. Before I had quite a bit of slack in here. I could wiggle this a bit. So I've tightened it up here. So that's a much more snug fit, that as soon as it sees any kind of movement on the throttle, it's going to go around to the other side here. But what I did was I have this adjustable linkage on here from the primary to the secondary. And you'll see if I move this, it can slide. It slides in there. So it's progressive. It's not linked one-to-one. It's a little easier for driving around the pits. You're just on the primary circuit, not pulling in the secondaries. But I took this little pin out, a little cotter pin here. You pull that, and then you can adjust this in or out. And what I did was I went 3 turns to bring it in closer. And that equated to, I'd say maybe not quite an 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/16. I mean, you know, the threads are pretty small, but it did move it. You can see actually there's a little gap there where you couldn't see that at all before where it was set up. So now, if you watch these squirters, as I sweep the throttle, I'm going to go from closed to all the way open, and we can watch them squirt. Primaries, secondaries come on. So there's some overlap. It's not squirting then disappearing before this one starts to squirt. Now there's a little squirt from each as it transitions from primary to secondary. So I'm going to get more shot, more fuel. Hopefully that's going to solve my starting line bog, stumble, whatever you want to call it. But can't be competitive with that because I can't stage the car. I get up there and let go of the button, I mash the gas, and and so it's not launching on the chip. It's not getting up to RPM, stalling in the converter where I want it, and launching consistently. So we got to get rid of that before I can actually compete. But that's where we're at with the East Coast Digger today.